Hello, welcome to part 15 of this Ruby on Rails series, Airbnb clone. Now, in last video, we added faker gem. So let's progress on to our property items now and see what all is pending. So if we have a look at any property, we need to update images, the rating hosted by availability dates, which is 20 to 25 Jan right now. This is hard coded and the rates. And I think we also have this favorites. Okay. So there's a lot to be done. Let's focus on the pricing right now. So this is a hard-coded pricing. We'll set it up correctly. So for that, we need to use money rails. Money rails gem. Yes. So if we have a look at this gem, we can add it using this, then bundle to install it, or using this, and then we will have to initialize this. Okay. We can add price cents monetize. So basically we can add monetize to any of our record to basically add money rails and use it correctly. This is how we can migrate. We can use migration like this, okay, but we will need nil. Okay, we can use migration like this, nil values. In product model, we can use it like this, and in migration, we can use blank assignments. Now blank assignments are permitted. Okay, allow large numbers. I think that's not an issue for us. Price and range. These are all extra parameters. We don't need this now. But yeah, as far as I know, money rails can help us in currency conversion, in humanizing various currencies. So, for example, in our database, we'll just write whatever value we have in basic numerical format. So, for example, we can write 5000, 5000 basically. So if our default currency is USD, then it would be $50. 5000 will be equivalent to $50. And if our default currency is INR, this will be equals to $50 because we have cents in dollars and paisa in rupees, right? So that's how, and even if our default currency is USD, and if we want to show our currency in rupees, so for example, in Airbnb, I think for my location, it will show currency in rupees, right? So how is this happening? The conversion is happening, but in database, there is only one entry. So money rails can help us in setting all these things up. Let me hide this for now. Now let's start with the setup part. So copy this. Let me stop my server first. I'll go to my gem file and let's add this money m. Okay, let's add this bundle install. Then what do have after bundle install, or we can use this. We have done this. Let's do this. Get status. Gem file has changed. Let's initialize. Oh, okay. Again, this is a generator. So this generator is specific to money rails. In device, we had similar thing. Device install and then device views. So all the gems that we use, they can have their own generators also. Let's have a look at the code that got generated. Config initializers money.rv. What does it say? To set the default currency, okay, we need this default currency. Let's use this. And by the way, this is we can change it from here, but still it would, even if do not uncomment this, I think USD will get used. To set blank data object, something like this, okay. This is entire configuration. That's it. Example, okay. Local backend, new. Okay, got it. This is just the configuration. We will see if we need to change anything. This just prompted us to change it. So yeah, let's save this. What do we have to do after that? In product, they have used price. Okay, but we have to use nil value because we want to allow nil values in our pricing structure. So for that, instead of this, we will have to go to this. So let's add this. Okay, so this is the first time that we are doing migration in this project. Uh, if you have a look at our database currently, it does have a schema, right? Earlier, users was created using device model. When we install device, users were automatically created. Now we created our own properties also, and for that we used Rails generate model, then wrote properties as the model name, and then mentioned all the column name and their data type, right? So now we have to add something like this, like t dot, I'm not sure, maybe double or something like that. Not, I'm just mentioning this, and it can be price. Okay, we have to do something like this, but how do we do this? We won't write it directly in our schema. We will do it in a Rails way. Basically, we will add a migration. So for that, not get, Rails generate migration, add price to what is our properties. Add price to properties. Let's do this. This will generate a file. You can create this file on your own, but this will generate a file, and this file which got generated is a bit unique. So you can see 2024 01, which is January, 18 is the uh, date, and then 14, 20, 52, I think hour and minute and second. Okay. Yes. Something like that. Hour, minute, second. Yes, hour, minute, second. And finally, the name of whatever we gave. And if we open this, we can add our code here. What do we have to write? Add monetize products. Let's copy this directly and see. We have to add monetize, not in products, in properties. We'll name it as not optional price, but price. Amount can be null, true, default, true, nil. Okay. Currency can be null and default is null. Do we have to do anything else? Not here, but in product model, we can write monetize optional price cents. Okay. So here we have used price. Here they used optional price converted to optional price cents. So we'll use price cents similarly. Controllers, no, not in controllers, product model. Yeah. Let's go to model, property. Let's add this monetize price cents, allowed nil true. Create. Anything else? Allow large numbers, no. Let's do the migration. So we have changed our database, right? Again, to repeat, if there is any change in our DB file, we have to do migration. So for that, we can write Rails database migrate. I think migrate. Yes, the migration was successful. Clear. And let's start our server and see what it looks like. Obviously, nothing will change because we haven't changed this. So let's see how we can use human readable, I think. Humanized money with symbol. And if we use money object, so for our case, yeah, we can use money object, and that would get converted to dollar this. And if we just want the value, we can write it like this. Got it, got it. No cents if all. Okay. And I think money rails, this does mention a bit better from amount. Okay, from amount to this. Got it. We can mention in cents or in amount. Let's write. Okay, so let's first generate fake data. For that, we will have, again, we are talking about generate data. So why I'm repeating this is because when I started coding in Ruby on Rails, I used to get confused, like in which folder I have to go and what what code I have to write, I know that. But in which folder I have to go, that might get confusing sometimes. So what I do is like I have to add fake data right now, right? So I'm talking about data. So my first guess would be database, and in that also seeds, because schema is a entire database, right? It doesn't have data directly associated in it, and migration is completely different. So let's open seed. What do we have to add? We can add price, but let's add it after this, or maybe at the end, just to keep it consistent. Price. Money dot, what was it? From amount or something like this. Money dot something. So we can add fake values here. Let's add, first is a integer value. So let's add 50 and we will add it in our USD format. Okay. Let's generate data. So again, generate data, therefore Rails DB reset, because we have already added it to our seed data. There are some deprecation issues. We'll see that later. Deprecation is not an issue for us. Bin slash dev. Now we will have to use it, right? So for that, let's go to our app. Let me first check this. How can we check if we have the data or not? Rails C. In our Rails console, we can access our database, right? So let me write property dot first, or we can write dot all to get all. This will give list of all the properties that we have. So for first ID we can use 50,000 USD. For second ID, okay, let me write exit. Okay, Rails C. Now we know that I'm just teaching you something in Rails console here. So we know specific property IDs of some properties, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20. So we can do a couple of things with this. Property dot first will give us first property. Property dot last will give us last property. Property dot find 5 will give us fifth property. Okay, so we can use a lot of these things, but we in all these things we know that price cents has been set to 50,000, which means it is $50. It is in cents. Okay, so it's equivalent to $50. So let's exit this console. Clear. Now let's go to our. Now we just have to show this data, right? So where do we show data? In views. Let's go to our views. Home, index, and we did mention dollar. This one, right? So let's have a look here. Let me shift this to next lines to make it visible. What was the method that we used? Humanized or something, right? Humanized money with symbol, and in that we have to pass money object, and this will give us this. Okay, humanized money with symbol, and this will give us. In this we will have to use property dot, sorry, it's a Ruby code. Humanized money with symbol, property dot price. Let's try this out, and we can see it's $50 everywhere. So how is this getting used? In property model we had already attached, where is this? In property model we had already attached monetize, right? So with that we get the power that we can use this function also, which is humanize money with symbol. This is passing the property dot price, which again price means price in cents. We are using price, but in our schema, if we have a look, it is a in cents, which is basically our integer value, and then we have the currency, which is a string. So the value of this is USD, the value of this is 50,000. And using this information, it is able to show us the value. Now let's try to make it much more random. We can use something like 50, anything between 50 to 100 dot to a dot sample. Oh, we don't need sample. Okay, no worries. Let's reset our data. Is db reset. Okay, we are just generating a random number between 50 to 100, and the currency is USD. Okay, this won't work. Let me close this up. Clear. Stop the server. Raise db reset. Okay, why is it taking too much time? Because, okay, there is some error here. Let me check this. Invalid statement where 50, it should, let's get rid of this just to understand if there is a problem in this or it's somewhere else. I'm just trying to debug because this is the only sensible change that we made last, right? This was correct. This was correct. In schema, we haven't changed anything. Let's have a look at this. Database is being accessed by other users. Let me terminate this. Let me clear this. Let's uncopy. I'm pasting this again. Let me drop our database. Rails db drop Rails db create Rails db seed, or we can use reset also. Either is fine, but I think we have 3 pending migration. Okay, Rails bin db migrate. Create will only create the database, it won't migrate. Okay. Then let's use reset directly just to be extra safe. And this worked. I think there was some issue, maybe because I was using two terminals, so it was giving error that my database is getting accessed in another terminal also. That was the problem. Bin slash dev. Let's start. Let's refresh. Now it works better. 83, 92, 65, 91. It gets it gives random value. Let me check one thing. Just planning ahead. If I look at Airbnb property, it says 21,180, 10,800. Let's start with this. And here, if I change it to one night, 10,800. Okay, before taxes. Taxes will come afterwards. Let's try to reserve this. Again, I think there is some form of discrepancy here because either taxes should be there, either service tax should be there, or something should be there. Like generally, these values which are shown on homepage are the actual price, but after that the discounts come, a lot of different things come. Okay, no worries. We'll see this later on. But if it's same, it makes things easy for us, right? Let me change it to okay. It's already 5 days, so it should be 50,000 plus 4,000, 54,000, 54,000. This is correct. Let's try to resolve this. It's 54,000, so there are no service tax or anything else. Great, no worries. I think in that case, what they would be doing is, let's say the amount is 10,000. So if Airbnb has 20% commission, then what would happen is as soon as we will make this payment, 20,000 will go to Airbnb account and 8,000, sorry, 20%, 2,000 will go to Airbnb's account, and 8,000 will go to this host account, Jake. So I think it should work like that. We cannot verify this fully, but still, I think it should work like that. Okay, so that's it for this video. In this, we have added money rails gem, and let's see what we do in next video. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel. Bye bye.